Good morning, everybody. It's Proctor here, and today we're going to take out the Oldsmobile Aurora for a test drive. Now, I'm going to do a true, honest opinion here really quick before I start the video. I do think this car is a Cadillac killer. I've had a bajillion Cadillacs, as you guys know, and this car actually feels like it could be a very, very good Cadillac for one reason. It feels like you're driving a Cadillac Concourse, but it feels like it's a lot peppier than the North Star with none of the North Star issues, and it just feels like the car is built to you. The Cadillac felt really nice and classy, but this car feels like it's more built towards the driver, you know? Like you got the whole instrument cluster here. It's facing the driver, you know, you got the auto climate control, OnStar, sunroof, you got the auto exit future, so as soon as you got turn the car off, seat goes back, steering wheel goes forward so you can get out. Beautiful car in that respect. All the steering wheel controls you could ever want. Yeah, it's a beautiful car. I'm definitely keeping this car out of the collection because it feels so classy. Like, yes, it's an Oldsmobile. Yes, it is. But keep in mind, this is the highest end, top of the line Oldsmobile you can buy. It's called the Aurora, the 3.5 twin cam. It's actually a surprisingly fast car. Um, I've had a lot of North Star Cadillacs and the 5 liters and all that crap, but honestly, none of those cars compare to the power this thing actually has. I was actually shockingly surprised when I bought this car. I did new coils on it because it wouldn't start and all that, and my God, does this car actually go? It gets up to 60 like it's nothing, man. So, not the color I would have wanted. I would go for like a pearl white, but you know what? Top of the line, fully loaded, Bose stereo, everything. I think it's ready to go as it is, honestly, for me. Let's take her for a whirl here. Sinks you into that seat. Just kicks you back in that seat. Beautiful. It's harmonic. This is the thing that I like about these cars. This car doesn't have the Cadillac signature pinnacle horn, but it does have one thing. It has that short star V6 underneath the hood. It is impeccable. Um, these cars really aren't recognized by many people, but once you drive one of these, you're gonna be like, "What the hell was I doing all these years?" Like it truly does feel like it's a driver car. I think this car was over 40,000 when it was new too. And I must note, it is much more reliable than the North Star V8s and the Cadillacs. Hence why I bought this car. I wanted something that felt like a Cadillac, was better than a Cadillac, but wasn't a Cadillac. So I did some research. Everybody on my channel was saying, hey, get an Oldsmobile Aurora, you know? These cars are built to last. They have plenty more features than the Cadillac, and they have plenty of pep. And my God, were they right about the pep part. It gets up there pretty quick. It throws you in the seat. See, the Cadillac, the North Star Cadillac I had for the bill, I loved the seats in that car. That was really the only reason I loved it. This car has the exact same seats. They feel exactly the same, right? It doesn't have that Cadillac horn, but it's got every single other option in it. You know? It's even got OnStar. My Cadillac didn't have that. Now, I can't compare this to like a newer Cadillac, like an 03, 04, but you know, man, just comparing them in general, this car's so much more reliable, more fun to drive, you know? Like once you get on that pedal, it just wants to keep going. It doesn't want to let off. Now, as for options, this car has every single option except for the gold trim package. So you got the Bose stereo, sunroof, power everything. You got driver one and driver two memory settings. You got your computer up here to tell you all your data. So you got that. That's nice to have. Um, oil life monitor. It's got just about everything you want in a car, and then some. Uh, huge trunk, huge trunk in these cars. Another thing about this car I was just about to say is they're actually reasonably good on gas for a V6. The Cadillac North Star V8s, you know they don't have very good gas mileage. It's just a given. Some of them do on the highway, but not generally in the city. This car is good for all of that. When I got this car, it had about just over half tank, and it's still about the same. So, yeah, it shows you what I can do to this car, and it still keeps going. Uh, as for faults, I've driven this car enough now. I kind of know what kind of goes on with it. As you can hear that whining sound, I thought it was the alternator. I replaced the alternator. It wasn't that. I replaced power steering. It wasn't that. So I got to do my research, but I'm told this is a very common Oldsmobile issue. It doesn't affect the engine or anything. It's just a noise, and it's annoying. Which was kind of a pain in the ass. I threw like 700 or 800 bucks at the power steering and the alternator, and it wasn't that, so I was kind of pissed. But that's one big fault, is that noise they make. And another fault they have is the exhaust hangers on the back. They tend to come loose and rust after a while. So this car does have that issue. So the exhaust sits a little bit lower than it should. So I'm going to have to get underneath that in the summer and fix her up. That's really all I can say for it, honestly. It doesn't have any of the North Star head gasket issues, nothing like that. So, yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good car.